You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to have Sammy crushing Belle and Vivian blowing it in a big way. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, please reach down, click that subscribe button. We've got predictions for Sammy, Belle, and EJ, for Holly and Doug 3, for Titan and DiMera, for Sammy and Johnny, and for Vivian and Xander. So our very first prediction, Sammy's jealousy has Belle doubling down with EJ. And hey, if you're not following us, please click that subscribe button. So word is spreading about EJ's shooting, and Belle's going to talk to Brady about EJ, and she really opens up to him on Tuesday, according to spoilers. And then Belle confesses her feelings to a comatose EJ on Wednesday. And guess who walks in and hears her? It is Hurricane Sammy. And she's irritated when she catches Belle with EJ. And she says some very harsh things to her sister dearest on Thursday. So if you remember, Sammy was furious the last time that Belle and EJ got involved, and that was years ago and was just nothing more than a flash in the pan. This time, Sammy is going to quickly realize there's real feelings involved and likely on both sides, and she'll be jealous of her little sister and irritated. Sammy is going to tell Belle that EJ is just using her to make his ex-wife jealous. But Belle knows that EJ has real feelings for her and vice versa, although Belle's been a little too worried about her career and optics and his recent alleged crimes to take that leap of faith and really get into a relationship with him. But with EJ shot and possibly dying and Sammy pushing her buttons, I think we can look for Belle to stake her claim on her guy. Our second prediction, Holly asks Doug 3 to the prom. So Holly has dumped Tate because the latest thing was just too much. And that was him calling up Julie and ratting out Doug 3 about the necklace simply because Tate was jealous. But really, ever since Holly went to Paris and Tate immediately slept with Sophia and got her pregnant, she and Tate have been heading for Splitsville. And now it is official. So next week, Holly's talking to Doug 3 about his feelings, and he's made his feelings for her very clear, but they may be talking about his feelings about the Julie thing. Plus, that same day, Sophia is there comforting and supporting Tate. Both those things happen on Monday. And then Tate is stunned to find Doug 3 in Holly's room at the Kiriakis mansion on Tuesday. Not sure why Tate just traipses into her room, right? So he really doesn't belong there, and I don't think Holly's going to like that. And then in April spoilers, we know that Tate's going to ask Sophia to prom, and she is completely smitten with him all over again. So I expect Holly to pay back Tate by asking Doug 3 to the prom. And since we all know prom night is when a lot of teens stay out all night and get frisky, we could see Tate hooking up with Sophia again. It's not like he can get her more pregnant, right? And Holly may actually hit the sheets with Doug 3 since he's crazy about her. And Holly will be annoyed that Tate is getting close to Sophia again. The only thing is Doug 3 has real feelings for Holly, but she may just be using him for revenge. But the question is, would Doug 3 mind if she used him for revenge? Maybe not. Our third prediction, Titan officially takes over DiMera. So, for a while now, Xander's been conspiring with Phillip to take over DiMera Enterprises, and they even got Wei Shen from the DiMera board to agree, and it looks like it's time to seal the deal. Could happen this week. EJ's at death's door, Kristen's in trouble with the law, so the company's at a weak spot. On Monday, Alex is considering something that Stephanie has told him about this situation. And on Wednesday, Phillip and Xander make a big corporate move. Thursday, Alex tells Sarah how he feels about this whole Xander situation, but it's not going to be good timing to come clean just because of this potential takeover. And then on Thursday, a spoiler says Phillip and Xander get bossy with Gabby. So Although we know Alex wants to tell Xander, and he's going to make that clear to Stephanie, when he actually does go to tell Xander about Phillip's fraud, I think he is going to see that Xander's all hyped up about the DiMera takeover, and he's probably going to cut off Alex, and he may not want to foul up Titan business and just decides to leave this Xander secret alone for now. And the reason I think the DiMera takeover happens this week is the part about Phillip and Xander getting bossy with Gabby. It seems like they'd only be able to do that if they got control of DiMera and were her bosses. EJ is powerless and in a hospital bed. JJ finds a gun in Kristen's purse this week. He may arrest her, and that may be what gets Wei Shin to pull the trigger. No pun intended. Our fourth prediction, Sammy chews out Johnny and shocks her son. So Sammy's back not only because Roman and Johnny have been calling her about the whole, messy rape origin story coming out, but also because EJ's been shot. Sammy is already irritated about Belle hooking up with EJ and saying she loves him by the time she and Johnny talk later this week. So on Friday, spoilers say Sammy has a difficult conversation with Johnny, and they are bickering in EJ's room at University Hospital. It looks like Sammy's frustrated with Johnny, and she has got a finger pointing in his face. In a spoiler photo I can't show you for copyright reasons, it looks very tense between mother and son. And in the Day of Days promo, there is a scene with Sammy hugging Johnny that's very sweet, and I'm sure it starts out that way. But I don't think Sammy is going to agree with how their son has verbally attacked EJ and cut him out of his life. Sammy is the one who was EJ's victim in this situation. So I'm guessing she thinks she's the one who gets to decide how his actions are interpreted. But the problem is Johnny has feelings that he's entitled to, but still, I don't think Sammy's going to let Johnny run around calling his dad a rapist without saying a thing or two about it. Our fifth and final prediction, Vivian blows up the dirty secret to Xander. So it could be time up on Phillip's fraud this week. So Alex wants to tell Xander, these are the spoilers I talked about a second ago. I won't go back through them all. And then Phillip and Xander are making their takeover moves. And Sarah is feeling really guilty after this talk with Alex. And then on Friday, something much worse happens. Vivian Alamain is out of Statesville prison. She's back in Salem. She shows up at the Kiriakis mansion, and Kate and Phillip are not happy to see Vivian out of Statesville. They had a champagne bottle out probably to celebrate the whole DiMera takeover, and then Vivian is there, and Phillip asks if she stopped by to say goodbye to him, but Vivian says she came to get what's hers. So Kate's the one who sent Vivian to prison by dropping a dime on her. So that's strike one. If Phillip doesn't offer Vivian the payday that she wants, that could be strike two. And if Xander overhears any of this, or if Vivian decides to blow up Phillip and Kate, well, that's strike three. We've heard from our leaker that Phillip leaves in May under a cloud of shame after being exposed, and Sarah's in deep duty with Xander by then as well. But then in fall, Phillip's supposed to be back to try and make amends. So we'll see how it goes, but it might be his surrogate mama, Vivian, who is stirring the pot and gets everything blown up.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.